We're actually past the top of the hour. I've got so much great stuff to share with you. Not a moment to waste. So let's hop right to it. Who this is for today, the High Fee Speaker Secrets. This is for you if you want to become a better entrepreneur of your expertise. So in other words, if you're a speaker, author, coach, consultant, trainer, any sort of thought-leading entrepreneur, professional service provider, this is for you. If you use your expertise, knowledge, or wisdom to create unique breakthroughs for your clients and audiences, this is for you. So here's our agenda. Here's what we're going to tackle today. How to turn your expertise into a 10K to 20K per month speaking-driven business, and how to do that consistently, even if that seems totally ridiculous and out of reach right now. Now, the folks that Teresa and I work with, some of them are at this level, some are even past this, and they're bringing in 25K, 30K, 40K per month from their speaking-driven business, and we'll define what that means here in a moment about a speaking business versus speaking-driven business, because that distinction is also important. How to create, market, and monetize other profit centers built around expertise that you already have. How to command premium fees. We're going to talk about money, fees, pricing, and how to stop playing small. How to get out of small potatoes land, and how to stop selling your keynote seminars and trainings for anything less than $3,500 and immediately move to the $45, $55, $65, $100 range. We've got clients now in our program that are charging and getting $15,000 fees, $18,000 fees, and this is something that they would have never dreamed of only 6 months ago. So this is absolutely possible to go from zero to hero, and we work with folks all the time, going from a mid to high 5-figure business to 6 figures, going from 6 figures to multi-6 figures, even going from multi-6 figures to close to 7 figures. How to target and connect with high probability prospects, how to gain their trust, how to sell your services more easily and more often and more consistently also. And how to do all of this without overwhelm, burnout, cold calling, or all the marketing monkey work that you hate. How do I know that you hate it? Because I hate it too. I hate it too. So here's my promise to you. We're going to go through a step-by-step strategy to take you to a reliable additional 10K to 20K per month of speaking-driven income, whether you're just starting out and you've done a few speeches, whether you've spoken a lot and for lots and lots of years. You can be on any end of the spectrum, and these strategies will work to boot up, reboot, re-energize, and remonetize your speaking-driven business. So let's just see if I have this right. Does this sound like you? Do you have trouble getting clients and don't know how to do it consistently? Magic word there is consistently. Do you suffer from the feast or famine revenue roller coaster with wild ups and wild downs? Some months you're crushing it, other months you are sucking wind and don't know how to get that stabilized. Do you have great content and get great results for your clients, but you're just lost in the noise? You don't know how to stand out and you feel like a best-kept secret. Do you secretly know in your heart that your work is worth more than what you're charging, but you're afraid that if you raise your fees, no one will pay them? Do you start out every month wondering where your next clients and prospects are coming from? And at the end of the day, are you working way too hard for not enough money and just not sure how to fix it? So the other thing is a lot of people think there's some secret club. There is some, then these mean, nasty bouncers are keeping you out of the secret club of high fee experts and speakers, and you just can't get in. You can't get past the velvet rope. They're not going to let you in. There must be something that the top 1% of speakers and experts and consultants know that you don't. Well, we're going to talk about what those things are right here, right now on today's masterclass, and you'll be surprised at how quickly those secret club doors can open for you. So let's talk about being a little bit confused, a little bit upset, not really knowing how to crack the code. The real problem is that you don't know the secrets. And what most speaker gurus teach is dead wrong, out of date, and it will make you broke. Because what you really need is a specific roadmap. Enough broad generalities, enough bloviating, enough platitudes. You need a specific roadmap with tactics, templates, tools, scripts, and strategies that will get you exactly where you want to go. Just like navigating with a compass and with a GPS. You need a reliable, repeatable system, not a bunch of random tactics strung together day by day or week by week. Because as you well know, if you've been around the block, and I see the folks on this call, you've been around the block, random activity leads to random results. And it is time to stop doing that. So once you know these secrets, right, high fee speaker secrets, quote unquote, and you'll also find out that they're not all that secret, so we'll talk about that in a moment as well. Little myth busting coming up for you. But once you have this dialed in, you are going to get hired consistently and be able to get more gigs at higher fees. I want to let that sink in. More gigs at higher fees. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking there's some magic supply and demand curve, that the cheaper you are, the easier and quicker it'll be to get gigs. Well, and we're going to dig into this later. As it turns out, if you're cheap, if your fee is below market value, and we'll talk about what market value is here a little bit later, you are repelling more clients than you're attracting. So in other words, let's just pick two random numbers for a quick second. You'll be able to sell more at $7,500 than you are at $2,500. Let me repeat that because it's a profound misconception that the $2,500 speaker gets more gigs and gets them faster. It's the $7,500 speaker who gets more gigs and who gets them faster. So if you're hungry to make money this month, I would raise your fee. I wouldn't lower it. There is no supply and demand curve in the speaking business. Please understand that. You can tune out right now. You can go away and miss out on all this other great, fantastic stuff that I have for you. If you leave just with that insight, your business is going to be on a completely different trajectory. Completely different trajectory. Once you know the secrets, you'll be seen as a true expert who both speaks more and earns more. You'll be able to generate new business easily by turning speaking into clients, and we'll talk about what that model looks like. You'll realize very quickly there was no secret club, and you will push through to a six-figure or multi-six-figure or high six-figure income faster than you ever thought possible. And you'll do all of this while tapping into the joy that you first had when you started. Because my guess is when you started your entrepreneurial speaker, consultant, coach journey, doing okay was not your dream. Treading water financially was not your dream. Just paying the bills every month and being in survival mode was not your dream. You had the dream of doing amazing work for incredible clients and being paid very handsomely for it. So that's about the joy, that's about the energy, that's about putting the love back into your speaking-driven business, and that's what we're going to do for you today. So, 5 secrets that you need to hit 200K, 300K, even 500K of revenue as an expert who speaks. And we're going to answer 2 very important questions today later on. Number 1, how busy do you want to be? Number 2, how much money do you want to make? And you get to decide. You get to adjust the dials on those 2 factors, and you get to decide, am I running a 200K business? Am I running a 500K business? Am I running a 350K business? And how am I going to make that money? How will I spend my time? How will I spend my energy? Who will I hang out with? Who will I get to work with? How busy do I want to be? How much time do I want to have at home? How much time do I want to have on the road? How much time do I want to have speaking versus training or coaching or consulting or online or sponsorships or all kinds of great things. You get to decide. That's the beauty of this business. And I'm going to walk you through exactly how to make these 5 changes today. So for those of you that might be new to me, don't know who I am, have never heard of me before, number 1, welcome. Great to meet you. I am one of the top marketing mentors for speakers, authors, coaches, and consultants. I myself am a $10,000 fee speaker. My topic is small business marketing, no big surprise there. I'm also a certified speaking professional from the National Speakers Association. Only about 10% of speakers worldwide have that designation. I spent a year on the buyer's side of the table, and I can't emphasize that enough. There's a lot of people that are teaching and preaching and speaking about this, about the speaker marketing stuff, and they've never sat in the buyer's chair. So I spent a year as a conference producer and a meeting planner. I hired over 160 speakers, experts, employment law attorneys, consultants, all kinds of people to do live programs, to do webinars, to do audio conferences, to do in-person summits, and all kinds of things. I knew immediately, within 2 weeks of sitting in the buyer's chair, all the things that I myself was doing wrong as a speaker. And so some of that I'm going to share with you today. I've also worked with over 500 successful speakers and consultants who are doing what you want to do. And I'm also running a hybrid multiple 6-figure every single year since 2009 business. So I know what it takes to build this kind of business, and I've helped over 500 people build businesses like this, the hybrid speaking, training, coaching, speaking-driven business, as we call it. So let's do some myth busting right here. First of all, are these really secrets? Really, they're not. I hate to break it to you. These are 5 specific areas where you need to start acting differently to take your business to that 10K, 20K, 30K per month or more level. Stop scrambling, stop hoping, stop guessing, and build a long-term, high-profit, and fun business. Let's bring the joy back to your business. Let's bring the fun back to your revenue-generating activities. Let's have you do marketing and sales and business development that you actually find easy, effortless, and enjoyable. And I'm going to walk you through those starting right now. So, secret number 1, stop selling your speech. Big news here, folks. Big news. Stop selling your speech means if you're a speaker, your fortunes are going to go up and down with the meetings industry, with the speaking industry, etc., with the economy. If you're in the business of solving problems, then your business is going to be strong on an evergreen basis. And speaking might be one of the distribution channels for your expertise. Let's go to the question box. Does that resonate with people? Does that resonate with you? Just type in yes in the question box if you understand the profound difference between stop selling your speech, stop looking for your next gig, and start solving problems, because a speaking business is going to be victim to the ups and downs of the economy, and a problem-solving business where speaking happens to be one of your distribution methods, that is evergreen. In fact, the worse the problems get, the more demand there is for a problem-solving expert. And let's see who's on board with that. Just type yes or the letter Y in the question box. I want to see if that's landing with people or not. All right, so Mark Green says yes. Kieran says totally with you. Charles says yes. Resonates well. Paul, Alice, David, Ed, Meredith. Pam says yes. Allison, the other David, Matt, awesome. Good. So I'm not totally delusional here, at least not about this. How about not about this? So 5 new rules for experts who speak. And again, that's how to reframe your business, right? Experts who speak professionally, not speakers looking for your next gig. You have to think beyond the keynote. You really have to think, what else can I do besides the speech that will add value? When you do a great speech, you don't want to be asked back. You want to be asked, what's next? What's next? What else can we do? How else can we tackle this problem? Because professional speaker is a skill set, it's not a job description. The most activity in the speaking-driven marketplace, more than keynotes, more than workshops, more than seminars, is training. Training is the number one most popular, most economically viable mode of delivery. So think about what can you do in terms of training, in-person training, live training, online training, e-learning, any of those things adding to your toolkit, and we'll map out the business model for this a little bit later on. But don't neglect training as a huge revenue source and profit center. And then we're also going to talk about this golden triangle business model, which is really about connecting speaking with training, with consulting and coaching, because speaking builds awareness. No matter how great of a speaker you are, that's all speaking is ever going to do. If you want to really tackle the problem, or if your client wants to tackle the problem, then they have to go to a training solution, because training is all about skills transfer. Once they've got the skills, now we need to move to the third leg of the triangle, which is some sort of consulting or coaching solution, because that's where long-term behavior change happens. So you can keep going around this golden triangle where a speech leads to, oh, hey, Pam, David, Matt, Susan, how can you help us? How can you help us further? Well, we need some competencies and capabilities transferred. The speech made us aware of the gaps and the problems and the heartaches and the headaches. The training is going to give us the tools and the skills to make it better. Now you do the training, right? The seminar, the workshop, etc. Now you say, okay, well, now we need to go big with this. Now we need to change the culture. Now we need to make this a permanent capability throughout our entire organization. Now you're moving into the third leg, which is permanent behavior change over a sustained period of time, which is, hey, can you coach our executives? Hey, can we do a 6-month or a 1-year or a multi-year consulting engagement where we can make this stick and we can make this last and we can have a permanent change in the DNA of our company, of our business, of our team, of our people to make this change happen. Now, once you keep working around this cycle, the consulting and the coaching, once you've completed that, you will get additional speaking because they will start to refer and recommend. If you started in the Eastern region, they're going to want you in the Western region and the Central region. If you started in business unit number 1, they're going to pass you around like candy to business unit number 2 and number 3 and number 4. So once you start, if you work with some large companies and some large organizations, you don't need many clients to make this 3-part model incredibly lucrative to the tune of many hundreds of thousands of dollars per year, with a small handful of clients that use you in all 3 of these modes on an ongoing basis. So I'm curious, knowing what you know about your own business, does this triangle business model make sense? If you can see yourself doing some form or flavor of this, type in triangle in the question box. Type in triangle. I'm curious who sees themselves doing this business model with all 3 prongs firing off revenue into your bank account. I'm just going to take a big swig of water while you're typing. And let's see who's on board the triangle bus. Who is on board the triangle bus? Kevin says triangle. David says definitely my model. Doug says triangle is absolute. Justin says triangle. Why not? Carl says triangle. Allison says that's what I do. Mark says triangle. Do 2 of them now. Alice says triangle is great and it works. It sure does. I love that. Peggy says triangle. Yes. Mary says triangle. David says try a new angle. Very nice. And we're going to try a new angle. And Deirdre's on board, Kieran, Matt, Charles, awesome. Ed, lots of answers flying in here, guys. That's great. Really, really good. So let's keep moving because there's some dangers here, right? Some tips and traps along the way. If you get this wrong and you focus on speaking all the time, the problem with that is you will never get off the gig-to-gig hamster wheel, and you'll be in low demand and a commodity, right? You'll also be victim to the highs and lows of the meetings industry or the economy. Get this right, and you will go deeper, further, and faster with each client and monetize a variety of delivery modes as the high-demand, high-fee expert. So let's talk about a quick success story. This is our client, Mike Thompson, and I'm always bragging on Mike on these webinars, so you may have seen Mike's story before. He's an education speaker that was on the gig-to-gig hamster wheel. In Mike's own words, his problem, he was always hunting wabbits, always hunting the next wabbit like Elmer Fudd, and going from gig to gig to gig, fairly low-fee gigs, $2,500, $3,500. He'd been doing this for 30 years. Very seasoned guy in the education market, so those fees are always going to be lower no matter what. Here's how we were able to transform his business once we got clarity on this first secret. So Mike says, I just closed one sponsor for $75,000 a year for 3 years. So that's a $225,000 deal. I have another one on the line for a $50,000 deal. I can't say enough about David personally, and his mentoring program made all the difference. I've stopped hunting wabbits, and I'm finally building a real business around my speaking. So what that means is professional problem solver, no longer professional speaker. Professional speakers, it's real hard to get a sponsorship deal going. Mike had no idea about what sponsored speaking was. He had no idea about getting sponsorships for his speaking. Literally 8 weeks after he came into our program, he's closing these kinds of deals with our specific guidance, templates, strategies, and tools. We're going to come back to sponsored speaking a little bit later on, but my feeling is, my professional opinion is, that sponsored speaking is really the future of the speaking industry. And the gig-to-gig hamster wheel, that is going the way of the dinosaur. So speaking as a marketing tool, speaking as a relationship building tool for companies and organizations that want to impact some other stakeholders, putting yourself in that equation is a much more profitable, much higher ticket item, as you can see here, $75,000 a year, $225,000 contract signed, $50,000 deal. This is for multiple speaking engagements throughout the year. We're selling in quantity. We're selling in bulk. And Mike had no idea how to do that on his own, wasn't even really aware that it was a business model. After working with us, he's taking about $300,000 to the bank within 8 to 10 weeks of implementing this strategy. So he gets the credit because he did the work, but it can be a radical transformation once you change your mindset. Secret number 2 is using the 7 hidden buying triggers and what buyers really, really want. Now, I mentioned that I was a meeting planner and a conference producer for over a year, so I have my own experience with this. But I will tell you where this next piece comes from. I talked to dozens and dozens and dozens of meeting planners, conference producers, association executives, and I'm looking for consistent themes. I'm looking for consistent patterns of what they say they're looking for when they go to higher paid professional speakers. I've distilled these down, these consistent themes and patterns, into 7 things. And these 7 things are, they want in-depth expertise. They want up-to-the-minute current content. They want something immediately relevant to their audience and their group and their industry. They don't want to have to use their imagination and use completely outside alien examples. They want you to be easy to work with. They want your programs to be interactive and experiential. They want you to bring your real-world experience and your real-world war stories, the good, the bad, and the ugly, to the stage. And they want you to be authentic and approachable. So let me tell you how to use these 7 insights. You can, right this afternoon, if you wanted to, you can create a document called the top 7 reasons to hire Steve, the top 7 reasons to hire Linda, the top 7 reasons to hire Linnell, the top 7 reasons to hire Ann Camille, the top 7 reasons to hire Kevin or David or Justin or Carl or Allison. Yes, I know how to read names. You can do that this afternoon. Here's what you put on that sheet. Those are the 7 things they're looking for. Let's give them the 7 things they're looking for. Put in expertise and 1 quick paragraph about your expertise. Put in the word currency and why your programs are always updated, up to the minute, current, relevant, immediately actionable, torn from the headlines, basically. Talk about customization. Talk about relevance, how you always customize your program to that group, that industry, etc. Give a story or an example of how you're easy to work with, how your programs are interactive, how you're bringing your real world experience to the stage, and how you're being authentic and approachable. You're not putting yourself up on a pedestal. That is one of the most powerful articulation and distinction documents that you can have in your toolkit. Very easy to create, and it will separate you from 99% of the other speakers and consultants and experts that they're looking at. So let's talk about get this wrong, get this right. If you get this wrong, you'll be stuck trying to peddle your programs to people who undervalue what you do or might not even hire you at all because you're what I call a same-o, lame-o speaker. If you get this right, you'll easily connect with the right buyers using the right language to capture their attention, engage, and who will gladly pay for the value that you are now clearly articulating that other speakers and consultants and coaches might not have. So let's talk about another client success story once we nail secret number 2 around articulation and distinction. So Lisa Hain came through our program. She's within the first 2 weeks. I used your material to close a speaking engagement for $5,000. I used your exact coaching and tools to sway the client to choose me when their board voted on a keynote speaker today. I knew I needed help with sealing the deal. Once I had a client on the line, I now know how to do this with every prospect going forward. Imagine if every conversation, when you went into an initial conversation with a client, and it came time to talk about their needs, their wants, their meeting, their members, their team, what they're looking to solve, you had the right words in the right sequence, in the right syntax, and the right questions so that they go, wow, that is exactly what we need. That is exactly what we're after. We're looking at some other people, but forget about them. We're going with you. We're going with you because you get it. You get it. You resonate. This is exactly what we're looking to solve. In other words, you're hired. You are hired. If you had that articulation and distinction toolkit, do you think you'd be able to close more deals? And just put yes or no in the question box. This might not be a problem for everybody, so if you answer no, I'm perfectly fine with that. I'm after an honest answer. Do you think that what Lisa experienced might be the missing key for you right here in secret number 2? And we're not even halfway through our program yet because there's 5 right secrets here. But is this the problem for you? That I just don't know what to say. I don't know what to send. I don't know how to separate myself from the crowd. So they slap their forehead and they go, oh my gosh, Ann Camille, where have you been hiding all my life? Alice, where have you been hiding all my life? Mark, thank goodness I found you. Where have you been hiding all my life? If this seems like it might be relevant for you, I'd love to hear about that. Mark says maybe, probably. Matt says sometimes. Carl says yes. Expressing value is huge. Justin says definitely. Alice says yes. Ed says sure. Absolutely, says Ann Camille. Absolutely yes, says David. Mike says yes. David says absolutely. Charles says yep. Paul says yes. Allison says yes. Okay. So again, this skill set that we're talking about, and again, maybe the solution is go build out your 7 reasons. Go build out your 7 reasons to hire, right? Let me go back to that document real quick, just so you guys don't feel kind of hopeless and clueless. This is one of the most powerful tools, right? So Dave Caperton came through our program also. He's a little bit of an overachiever. He says the top 10 reasons to hire Dave Caperton to speak for your event. And he talks about his 10 reasons. He's added more than my basic 7, but I'm giving you the 7 right here, guys. This is it. Screenshot this, save this, write them down, whatever. Expertise, currency, relevance, easy to work with, interaction, experience, authenticity. That's what I was looking for when I was hiring speakers. That's what dozens and dozens of meeting planners and conference producers and corporate executives tell me that they're looking for. Some variation of these, but they fall into these 7 buckets. These 7 are the 7. Period. End of sentence. If you're doing extra above and beyond, great, good for you. But these 7 will get you more bookings and will separate you and distinguish you from any other speaker that they're looking at. All right. So good. Number three, replace stupid marketing tricks with MMA. MMA is not mixed martial arts. It's money-making activity. Money-making activity is the number one thing that Teresa and I see missing from so many speakers and consultants and experts and coaches. If you flip open your calendar, let's just make a little honest assessment here. This isn't even in my slides. I'm just talking to you guys now. Look at your calendar over the last 7 days, the last 7 business days. On your calendar, proactively scheduled, not, oh yeah, I got a random call, or oh yeah, I hooked up with someone on LinkedIn, or oh yeah, an email came in over the transom. I'm talking about proactive, scheduled, in your diary, as they say in the UK, in your calendar, as they say in the US. How much money-making activity, meaning sales outreach, direct to prospect activity, was in your calendar over the last 7 days? How much was in there? And again, you can look, you can flip out to your Google Calendar, you can look if you're a paper kind of person, like I'm a paper person. I keep my stuff on paper, believe it or not. My to-do list, my priorities, etc. For most speakers and coaches and consultants, the answer is 0, none. And so no money-making activity, and you're looking at your bank account, and you're looking at your spouse, and you're looking at your dog, and you're looking at your CPA, your accountant, no wonder that maybe the money is not flowing into your business as much as it could be, or as much as it should be, because no money-making activity, proactively scheduled, guess what? No money-making results. So I'm not gonna call people on the carpet for this one. You guys can privately have a little introspective moment as we start talking about helping you with this. So here's the old way. Here's what I call non-money-making activity, or marketing exhaustion. See if you've heard this advice. And we hear this from all over the place, every entrepreneur, every speaker, every solopreneur. Oh my God, you have to blog. You have to tweet. You have to do Facebook. You got to be on LinkedIn. You're not using Instagram. What's wrong with you? Oh, networking. Shaking hands, kissing babies. You got to do networking. Got to go out to trade shows, get media, do a whole big public relations blitz. Make sure to have a referral program, send out thousands of postcards. Oh, you got to make 25 cold calls a day. You got to do a ton of free speaking. What are you, crazy? You can't get paid to speak right out of the gate. Do a ton of free speaking. Spend a few years doing that. Do webinars. Make sure that your YouTube channel has 74 videos on it. You got to write articles. Of course, you have to write a book. To be a serious speaker, got to have a book. You have to have a podcast, do interviews, get mentioned in the media, do your search engine optimization, do your mobile marketing, list building, get on radio, get on TV, get on Oprah, build out infographics, write ebooks, run Facebook ads, do a 3-part video series with a 17-part launch cycle, do a ton of Facebook live streaming, create online groups. Oh my God, please do me a favor. Take a nice deep breath, exhale like this, And if you're sick and tired of this crazy marketing monkey work, just type no thanks in the question box. Type in the words, no thanks, I'm not doing this anymore, I'm not listening to this crazy advice anymore. None of what you see on this screen is going to make you a single dime. Let me repeat that in case you missed it. None of the activities on this screen right now, blogging, tweeting, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, networking, trade shows, media, public relations, referrals, postcards, cold calls, free speaking, webinar, YouTube, article, write a book, host podcast, do interviews, SEO, mobile, list building, radio, TV, infographics, ebooks, Facebook ads, videos, letters, none of it is going to make you money. None of it. So, no thank you, no thanks, not doing that anymore. Ann, Camille, Mike, Matt, David, Nancy, Carl, Allison, Paul, got it, wonderful, yes, you're with me, you like me, you really, really like me. This makes me furious, guys. You can tell in my voice that this makes me so upset because this sends people completely off in the wrong direction. What's the right direction? Let's talk about it. Here's the right direction. The smart way. The smart way is to just take it easy. Take yourself on a yoga date. Relax. Clear the deck. You want to choose a few proven marketing tactics that you find easy, effortless, and enjoyable. Play only to your strengths and commit to 1 or 2 of these marketing main dishes, not 10. And as of right here, right now, mark your calendar, circle today on the calendar with a big red Sharpie. Today is the day that you are free. You are free to drop everything else. When your virtual assistant says, oh, how come we're not blogging and Facebooking and tweeting and linking and blah, 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 you can say, David Newman gave me permission to drop all the monkey work and the focus on genuine money-making activity. In other words, direct to prospect activity that will generate sales conversations on your calendar, that will get you booked, that will get you paid, and that will build up your bank account. If it's not doing that, drop everything else that doesn't meet that criteria. If you're not crazy about the words marketing or sales, don't worry about that. We can get you over that. Here's the replacement. 4 magic words. This is your new full-time job. Offer value, invite engagement. Offer value, invite engagement. You're going to invite people to a conversation about how you can help them, how you can help them at their next meeting, how you can help their company, how you can help their conference, how you can help their attendees or their members. You're going to offer value, step 1, invite engagement. Invite engagement, by the way, could be a little tiny baby micro commitment, right? If we're on social media, if we're doing some intentional social media outreach, like to a meeting planner via LinkedIn, right? You might send them an article. That's offer value. You might say, hey, I'd love your feedback. Drop a comment, hit like, hit subscribe, hit share, hit send, right? Any of these things are micro commitments to invite engagement and to bring you one step closer to a conversation. But it is laser, it's not shotgun. It is intentional, it is not random, it is focused, it is not haphazard. And it's also not pushy, not salesy, not needy, and not desperate. You're showing up on their radar as a partner and not a peddler. So, if you get this wrong, you will keep doing marketing and sales activities that you find exhausting, depressing, and ineffective. I think we have to make a whole new acronym here, EDI. EDI is a new horrible disease for speakers and consultants and coaches where it's exhausting, depressing, and ineffective. That's what EDI is. It's a whole new syndrome. It's like, oh, David, it looks like you're suffering from a bad case of EDI. So we don't want EDI. Get this right, and you will start to build relationships. You will start to gain your prospects' trust, and you will have more and better sales conversations that end up in a yes. So let's talk about how this plays out. If you do this the right way, offer value, invite engagement, right? Show up with trusted advisor marketing, not pushy salesy speaker marketing. Tony Lucero came through our program. He says, long story short, I picked up 2 coaching clients totaling $32,400, and I'm on retainer for 90 days at $10,000 per month with the company. Not bad. I'm telling you this not to boast, as many of you are much better than I am. However, I was doing the activity that David outlines and focused on what I wanted to attract in my business that allowed the doors to be opened. And again, notice there was no striving. There was no pushing. There was no pressure. There was no weirdness to this. And my comment down below says, love, love, love the results, energy, momentum, go Tony. And then he very kindly says, your program, David, made this possible because we opened up this entire different type of money-making activity. And we stopped doing all the marketing monkey work that Tony used to be doing. And we said, what can we do to laser focus on you connecting with the exact buyers that you want with money-making activity? Replace marketing monkey work with MMA, and these are the kind of results. And Tony got these results, by the way, like in about 6 weeks. This wasn't like 5 years later. This was 6 weeks into our program. He's still active in our program. He's posting this in our clients-only Facebook group. So that is a huge, huge breakthrough when you focus on MMA. So let's recap at this point. We're 3/5 of the way through. At this point, we know that we need to stop selling speeches. We know that we need to use the 7 hidden buying triggers to separate and distinguish yourself in the marketplace. And we know that we need to replace stupid marketing tricks with money-making activity. Now let's look at how to get super focused and zero in on the exact buyers that you want, because I've been talking about that the whole time, and how to set and get premium fees. So we're talking about fees, money, and revenue generation, and how to build that formula for yourself that will help you figure out how much money do I want to make and how busy do I want to be. So secret number 4. Secret number 4 is about connecting with buyers. My mantra here is no forest, all trees. You guys have heard the saying about you can't see the forest for the trees. This is the opposite problem. And a lot of speakers say, well, I'm serving the pharmaceutical industry. I'm serving the construction industry. I'm serving the small business market. Well, there is no small business market, right? There's no forest. There's no forest that you can sell to because forests don't buy. The pharmaceutical industry doesn't buy. The construction industry doesn't buy, right? The accounting industry doesn't buy. Individual buyers, individual decision makers, individual human beings, meaning the trees in that forest, are your buyers. And I've seen so many good speakers get tripped up with this. Here's what you need to do. Make good, big decisions, meaning focus on connecting with the right people, and you get to decide. That's what I mean by decision. You decide who are the right people. Connect with the right individuals in the right way for the right reason, not to sell them anything. Let's back up the truck. Here's the back up the truck sound, by the way. Beep, 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 beep. That's what we're doing. We're backing up the truck. Don't look for selling opportunities. Look for helping opportunities, right? Helping opportunities. And there's going to be 3 super specific steps to identify, reach out, and connect with these specific people. But you're going to connect to help them, not to sell them on first contact. So let's break this down. Step number 1 is the decide step. You need to decide, number 1, who do you serve? Specifically, articulately, as narrowly and clearly as possible, you need to identify who do you serve, and for those people, what problems do you solve? These 2 answers will help you laser focus everything you do, everything you say, and everything you sell. And life becomes so much easier and so much more clear and so much less activity needs to happen because you're not trying to boil the ocean. You're not trying to be all things to all people everywhere, anytime, any conference, any place, anytime, any subject, any fee. You're not doing that. You're now saying, just like at the top of this call, with all due humility, which might not be a lot, I said, I am one of the top speaker marketing mentors on the planet. Why? Because I stopped doing everything else. When I started my business 15 years ago, I was all things to all people. I was this anytime, any place, any topic, any fee speaker. I literally went out in the marketplace with 30 different workshop topics. Hiring, firing, leadership, sales, marketing, basket weaving, team building, communication, presentation skills, leading through change, leading through trust. I still remember my whole catalog. I remember all of it. I was doing all of it, and I was successful at none of it. And I was among the world's best at nothing, because you can't be the world's best at 30 things. Now that I'm doing one thing, like I'm encouraging you to do one thing to answer these two questions, who do you serve and what problems do you solve? You've got a very good chance, if you narrow this down enough, to own that mountaintop, to be the queen or the king of that mountaintop, and to truly be one of the go-to people in that niche, in that topic, in that expertise. And I'm talking about on the planet. I'm not talking about in your state or in your province or in your region, or I'm talking about one of the top people on the planet. And the magic key is to decide on the specificity of what that looks like for you. Second thing, targeting. Notice this is your journal, this is your diary, this is your planner. When I said, hey, let's look back on the last 7 business days and how much money-making activity was proactively scheduled in your calendar, many of you said, none, 0. This is embarrassing. Oh my goodness, you're so right. Well, I am. I'm not here to be right. I'm here to help you. So here's the answer to that. Develop a finite, written, workable list of high probability prospects. Remember, no forest, all trees. What are the trees? Who are the trees in your specific forest that you would love to do business with? Who are the corporations, associations, groups, conferences? And then let's find those people. Find those actual human beings. I'm talking about specific corporations, associations, groups, and specific people who work there, and find their name, find their email, find their LinkedIn profile, find them as a real 3-dimensional human being, study that industry or that company, and our job before we reach out is to know your target better than they know themselves. Know their pains, heartaches, headaches, challenges, gaps, hopes, dreams, goals, aspirations. Figure out the highest relevance things that you could say in an initial outreach that they will immediately resonate with, because everybody in their industry or position or company is interested in that same thing. So you immediately show up as an educated partner and not as an ignorant peddler. I can't tell you how important that is. Educated partner, not an ignorant peddler. Third step is let's connect with them, right? We talked about this a moment ago. Offer value, invite engagement, offer value, invite engagement. How does that work? Well, powerful, proactive, peer-to-peer outreach as an authority. Notice I didn't say as a speaker. Can you hire me to speak? Can you bring me in to speak? Can you pay me to speak? No one's going to respond to that. Why would they? It's ridiculous. You're showing up on their doorstep as a commodity. I don't want you showing up on their doorstep as a commodity. I want you showing up in a powerful, proactive, peer-to-peer way as an authority in your field. You can get this a variety of ways. You can initially show up on their radar by getting referred, strategic introductions, shared groups. You can interview them. You can find the blogs, portals, communities that they already belong to. You can find the publications that they already read and recognize and respect, and you can start to find them there. There's all kinds of ways to connect with these high probability buyers. Spray and pray is not the way. Random, let's put up a website, let's do a whole bunch of social media, white noise nonsense, that's not the way. You got to fish where the fish are. My friend Corey Perlman talks about this in his fantastic book, Social Media Overload. You have to fish where the fish are, and you will never go hungry again. But this is laser, it's not shotgun. And it's proactive, meaning you're doing daily and weekly outreach like this, and your calendar, your planner, your diary, if you're in the UK. I'm not sure if Canadians call it a diary. I think we got some Canadian people on the call here. If you guys call it diary, just put diary in the question box. Then I'll know that you've got a diary instead of a day planner or a journal. But anyway, it needs to be filled with daily outreach activity. That is MMA. And if you're not doing that now and you have no idea how to do it, that's probably the biggest problem in your business right now. Is I don't know who to contact. I don't know where to find the real speaking leads. I don't know where to connect with real buyers for my speaking and training and coaching and consulting. And might not even know what to say when I get there. So that would be a problem, right? You get this wrong and you'll keep doing all the spray and pray marketing that's all over the map and rarely generates good clients or good fees. However, if you get it right, you will intentionally befriend. And I want to emphasize that phrase, intentionally befriend the exact decision makers who will gladly hire a helpful authority, and they're the ones that will repeat and refer and recommend. And that's what you want. So Susan Robertson, I'm again bragging on her on almost every webinar because she went from being a successful consultant, never really being paid to speak. Let me underline that again, never really being paid to speak. Within 5 weeks, she booked her first gig in this little Facebook chat that we had along the way. This is a confirmed gig. How much are they paying? She says, yes, $7,500. She didn't even know how to put the speaking contract together because she'd never done a paid speech. But I said, David, how does this work? And so I answered, it's 50% deposit to hold the date and then balance due 7 days or 14 days before the program. Obviously, in our program, we've got a ton of contract templates and tools and scripts, but this was in the moment. She was about to respond to this client, and she's Facebook messaging me going, hey, the dog caught the car. What do I do now? And so she did that. Within 2 weeks of that happening, she sends me this Facebook message. Just got a speaking gig that I feel sure I would have never gotten if I weren't in your program. It's chock full of prime prospects for me. I would have done it for free, but instead I'm getting $3,500 plus full-length HD video plus personal introductions to people that I target from their list plus video testimonials. That's a huge win for me for something I would have normally done for free and probably wouldn't have even thought to try to get regardless. And my answer there was totally fantastic. Huge congrats from me and Teresa. I just handed her the phone to show her your message. So think about this. Already successful, established professional, as a consultant, went from 0 in speaking fees to, between these 2 gigs alone, $11,000 in 6 weeks. Because of the confidence, because of the clarity, because she started connecting with the trees, the actual MMA, the money-making activity that she should have been doing all along, but had not done for 6 months before, and she was about to throw in the towel. She was about to throw in the towel. Let me say it a third time. She was about to throw in the towel. Not just on speaking, but on her entire business, because she couldn't get this solved until we helped her. So huge, huge, profound change. Secret number 5, we're talking about money and fees now. Stop charging like an amateur. You have to elevate your fees to elevate your position. Stop charging like an amateur. Here's real world market rate fees. There's only 2 reasons why you're not earning what you deserve right now, whether that's $8,000, $10,000, $15,000, $18,000 per program like many of our clients have. Only 2 reasons why you're not earning that level of money. Either you think your expertise is not worth it, or you think that it is worth it, but you believe that if you charge more, no one will hire you. And you're wrong on both counts. Your expertise is absolutely worth it. And if you are talking to the right clients, they have the fees to invest. So let's talk about fees and money. First piece of advice, stop listening to idiots. I get this question all the time from all kinds of speakers, especially new speakers, but at every level. So how much should I charge? Is it 500? Is it 1500? Less, more, whatever their budget is? The answer is no. No, 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 no. Oh my goodness, no. Here's the 5 levels of fees according to Smart Meetings magazine. Unpaid, 1,000 to 2,500, 2,500 to 5K, 5K to 10K, or 10K and above. This is what meeting planners say behind our backs. Unpaid speakers, mediocre, just starting out. 1,000 to 2,500, you get what you pay for. They're not very good. 2,500 to 5K, they're just transitioning from part-time. They're still dabblers, they're still dilettantes, they're still amateurs. 5,000 to 10,000, now you know you're hiring a true professional. 10,000 and above, New York Times bestseller, marquee name, some kind of celebrity. Obviously, if pricing is positioning, and it is, this chart shows you that pricing is your positioning. I want your positioning to be that they're hiring a true professional speaker. So at least 5K, 6K, 8K, 10K is where you need to be. I don't care what you've done before. I don't care how little you've charged before. Even if you're charging a lot, I don't care how long your fee has been at that level. It's time to raise it. It is time to raise it to 12 or 15 or 18. For some of you, if you're charging peanuts, it's time to go to 5,500, 6,500 and start charging a serious fee where your client knows they're hiring a true professional. So this is not about what you need to earn. Of course, you're going to earn more money. It's about what they need to pay to take you seriously. So here's some more quick tips. You can turn this around in a few weeks. This does not take years and years and years to figure this out. I need you to leave behind the small potatoes thinking and the small potatoes doing. Stop treating this like an expensive hobby. I know many professionals are on this call. That particular line doesn't resonate with you, but there are people that are totally in hobby mode, and you're wondering, why isn't this working? And why can't I get traction? And why am I not getting paid what I deserve? It's because you're not serious about it. You're treating this like an expensive hobby, and it needs to be a profitable business. So doing okay was not your initial dream when you started out, right? We talked about this before at the top, that treading water and just paying your bills and being in survival mode, that wasn't your initial dream. Your initial dream was to do great work with great clients and make great money. Well, let's get you going on that. So how much should you be earning? Here's my answer. My answer is, you're a professional problem solver. You're like a doctor. You should be making doctor money. Doctor money, according to payscale.com, is average income in the US for a general practitioner physician is $186,600 a year. For some of you, that seems like a fortune. That's great. That's fine. For some of you, oh, that was last year. That was 2 years ago. I was there 5 years ago, and your number's going to be higher. But as a minimum, I'm saying $186,600 a year. So let's talk about how to get there. The top 1% of speakers that I work with and that I see and that are my friends, top 1% use at least 3 revenue streams, not 1, but 3. Speaking, anywhere from $5,500 to $12,000, $15,000, $18,000 in some cases, but at least $5,500, close to 10, 9,500, 12,500, somewhere in that ballpark per program. Training, same thing. Speaking and training, to me, it's interchangeable. It's a day of your presence on a stage. Coaching, $6,000, $8,000, $10,000 per client, sometimes $15,000 per client, right? Have that in your back pocket. Consulting revenue, anywhere from $5K to $25K a month. Licensing your intellectual property, $50K to $150K per year licensing deals. We've done that with clients. Sponsorship, like you saw with Mike Thompson, $100K, $200K deals, easy. $100K or $200K sponsorship is small. It is small. These can go much, much bigger, much, much faster if you do the sponsorship strategy the right way. So using one makes you a one-trick pony. Using three makes you a business owner and an entrepreneur of your expertise. I talked about that on the very first slide. We're here to make you a better entrepreneur of your expertise. These are 6 distribution methods for that expertise, and the top 1% of speakers who are very financially successful use at least 3 of them. So let's dial this in for you. It's just basic math. We call it price times quantity equals total. Let's say that you're playing small. You're doing a $4,500 program. You want to do that twice a month. That is $9,000 a month. 9 times 12 is 108. So even doing that by itself, and you've added 6 figures to what you're doing right now. One training day at $4,500 a month, multiply that by 12, that's $54,000 more. And then let's say you got a coaching program for $6,000 and you sell one of those per month. You sell one coaching program per month, that puts $6K per month on the bottom line, $72,000 in coaching revenue. Add those 3 numbers and you've got your doctor money. There's your $234. Now the beauty of this, you wouldn't even need to do that. You can add more, you can increase this, you can decrease this, you can flex it around. But the magic of the formula is that you now know where you're going. So let's say that you hate training. You don't want to do any training. You're not a training kind of person. That's why I made it green. Take that out of the equation. So now you're doing 2 speeches a month at $4,500. That's $108,000. You've got one coaching gig that you sell per month. That's a $6,000 package that you've put together. 108 plus 72 is 180. So we're not doing the 54, right? We've got 108 plus 70 is 180. We're not quite at doctor money, but very close. We're not quite at the 186,600, but we're at 180. You can do it the other way. You can say, you know what? I don't like coaching. I want to do speaking and training. So 108 plus 54, that's an additional 162. So you see, I don't care how you make the math work. But the beauty is you now know the math and you now know the intersection of how busy do I want to be and how much money do I want to make. Now, here's the question, gang. If you can do this very basic 3rd grade math, and if this seems 100% real for you, type in the word possible and your new annual revenue number. And I'll put that slide back, but if you can see yourself doing the price times quantity equals total, 3rd grade math, and you've come up with a number for yourself, type in the word possible and your new annual number. What's the new annual number that is now easily within reach by simply adjusting these dials, maybe one more speech, maybe one less training, maybe you need to go to 5,500 instead of 4,500. Maybe you need to go to 7,500 instead of 5,500. If you're already a $10,000, $12,000 speaker, maybe it's time to raise your fees from 10 to 12 or 12 to 15 or whatever it might be. But I want to see if this is really landing with you and if you're connecting with how much you're in control of this math. I want to see the word possible and I want to see your new revenue goal number for implementing your plan. So it is so possible to do 235,000, possible 250K, possible 250, possible 200 to 400, possible 200, possible 150, possible 204, possible 250. Love that. Absolutely right. Absolutely right. Possible 174,000. Yeah, and again, whatever math makes you happy, right? A $10,000 a month business is $120,000 a year. A $20,000 a month business is $240. Obviously, in between there, you've got the $15,000 a month, which is $180. So whatever the math is, A, you now know it, and B, you now know how to change it. If you want to dial this up, you can dial it up. Do more work or raise your prices. You want to dial it down, do less work or lower your prices, or do less work and raise your prices, right? You want to stay home more and there's demand for what you do in the marketplace because you're doing everything else the right way. Why shouldn't you move from a $7,500 fee to a $9,500 fee? Why shouldn't you move from a 10K fee to a 12K fee? You absolutely should. And we got a few more votes coming in here. So 200, 250 seems to be the sweet spot for a lot of people. 250 to 400 is coming in, 250 to 500K. That's awesome. That's coming in. As long as you guys can see what it is for you, I don't care what the ultimate math is, but it's on top of what you're doing now. It's in addition to what you're doing now. So good. I'm glad that landed with you. All right. Let's talk about get this wrong, get this right. Get this wrong and you will continue, unfortunately, undercharging and under-earning, and the premium clients and prospects that you really want will never find you because your pricing is your positioning and they don't look for cheap. Get this right and you'll build a high credibility, high fee, expert-based business that clients will confidently hire, rehire, and recommend to others. And that's where we want you to be. That is really where we want you to be. So let's talk about some other sales success, because again, I want to reinforce this concept of possibility and doability. So here's a client. I had to run some numbers for my financial planner. We had gross revenue of 106K for the past 6 months. That's more than I've ever made anywhere in any 6-month period. Another thanks. Have a great weekend. These messages, by the way, not only am I showing you how possible and doable this is, they just make me happy that our clients are having breakthrough success after breakthrough success. FYI, I just got another gig for $12,500. I'm steadily raising my fees and so far getting it. I'm still not getting as many as I want. And again, there's a dose of reality, right? But I'm getting more for the ones I'm getting. So I'm happy with my progress. Hey, how's your 30K gig coming along? Did that close? Yes, it's in 2 weeks. Love that one. Because of David and Teresa, I have a system to contact qualified leads. My sales proposition is what they're looking for, and I'm booking clients. Love that. Let's tally the nudge from Newman numbers. 3 new clients, almost 20K in income upfront, and a clear path towards only doing one-to-many group coaching for high fees. And again, remember, this is speaking-driven business, right? This is speaking plus one of the 3. And I said that the top 1% of speakers use at least 3, and this client decided on group coaching. Hard to put a price on the increasing clarity, excitement, and vision of my future, but let's say I haven't slept in almost 3 weeks because my brain is too excited about the possibilities. I must tell you, because of so much I've learned from you, I broke the 6-figure mark already this year, and it's not even October yet, so I got that obviously a few weeks ago. Thank you. What you're teaching works. Proof that it's always best to get on the phone to discuss possibilities and to go into the conversation with a confident I can help you mindset, and we talked about that today, right? Don't go in looking to sell, go in looking to serve and looking to help. My client call ended in a full fee booking for February 2018, $7,500. Boom, easy, done. I love this stuff. Thanks for everything. Getting back on track. Booked 33K in the past 3 weeks. Love that. Love that. Love that. I've been using the great stuff in your program. I booked 2 $5,000 speeches this week. Thanks, David. And then, hey, David, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch or spoil it before it happens, but it looks like your LinkedIn reach out message may have just landed me a $60,000 to $70,000 contract in less than a week of sales cycle to boot. So again, this doesn't take months and years. It can happen in weeks. I have a handshake and a verbal agreement from the CEO and his executives. We have the first event scheduled. I'm just formalizing the contract and sending them the paperwork today. So this is when you dial in your business model, your revenue model, and your sales numbers, right? Price times quantity equals total. What do you need to sell? How many and for how much? It's these kinds of breakthroughs that will happen. It is these kinds of breakthroughs that will happen. So it's time to stop paying your dues, my friends. In fact, I hate that term. I'm not even sure what that means. Oh, you have to speak for free. Thank God that no one told those clients on that previous slide that they have to speak for free. before they start putting numbers like that on the scoreboard. Oh, you have to pay your dues. You have to start small. You're not ready to charge more. You're not good enough to charge more. You're just in this for X number of years. Fill in the blank, 2, 5, 17, 30. I've had, Mike Thompson, 30-year veteran in the speaking business, not his first rodeo, and he was still not getting this dialed in the way that he wanted, and that's just deadly. That is deadly, deadly advice. I need you to stop paying your dues, and let's focus on start paying your bills. So are you tired of undercharging and under-earning, even if you're a seasoned pro? Remember, guys, fees are a filter for your best clients. Fees are a filter also for who they look at and who they want to hire. Premium clients expect to pay premium fees. It's not they're able to pay. It's not that they're willing to pay, although that's true. They are expecting to pay premium fees. You show up with a cheap fee, and it is a repellent. It repels them away from you. And again, it's not about what you need to earn, although you'll earn a whole lot more. It's about what they need to pay to take you seriously. And by the way, this is not just for newbies. I worked a couple years ago with a $10,000 speaker, very successful guy, certified speaking professional like I am, one of the Toastmasters world champions. He hadn't raised his fees in 8 years. We had a 5-minute phone call. I said, do me a favor, the next time the phone rings, charge $12,500. Phone rang, as it always does in his office, because he's doing his marketing and his MMA the right way. And they said, hey, we want 2 programs. And he said, what? How much is 2 programs? He says, well, they're $12,500 each. And the client said, great, send me the agreement. Right then and right there, I put $5,000 in his pocket in 1 week, going from, he would have sold those for $10,000 each. He sold them for $12,500 each, got a check for $25K instead of $20K, and he made tens of thousands of dollars more since then after a 5-minute phone call with me. So it is never too late, and it's never too soon. Never too late and never too soon to get this dialed in the right way. So understanding that, type in your new fee. What's your new speaking fee right here, right now? You're making a decision right here with me as your coach and as your guide. Type in your new fee and type in 1 word on how that feels. So put in $7,500, awesome. $5,500, doable. $6,500, fantastic. $5,500, totally deserve it. Type in your new fee and then 1 emotion word on that same line on how that new fee feels. How does that new fee feel for you? And I'm curious what people are deciding on once you've dialed in your business model. Type in your new fee, your new daily fee for speaking, training, showing up on a stage. What does it cost? Your new fee that you can work with in your new business model of price times quantity equals total, and then 1 word. So Paul says 5,000, feels great. Dominique says 7,500, justified. Nancy, 7,500, energizing. Charles, 9,500, feels great. David, 7,500, and groovy. Allison is 5,000, I am a pro. 5,500, awesome sauce. 6,500, now, exciting. 5,500, unsure. Okay, that's cool. I said the emotion word, unsure. We can figure it out. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I didn't read the rest of it. Unsure, not sure it's enough. I love that. I didn't read the rest of it because it kind of cut off in my little chat window here. 5,500, unsure, meaning not sure it's enough. Amen, brother. Mike says 5,500, about time. Peggy is 5,000, awesome. Carol Ann, 5,500, yippee. Wendy, 6,500, I deserve it. Deirdre, 10K, deserved. Chris, 7,500, feels great. And 7,500, profitable. Yes, amen. Profitable, and it fits your business model. So that's the most important thing, that you now know how to have a multi-6-figure business or a high 6-figure business with doing the math in your world. Here's a bonus secret, and I learned this one too late, I gotta admit. First 6 years of my business, no mentoring, no coaching, no help of any kind. Huge, huge, huge mistake, in my humble opinion. If I could turn the clock back, I would invest in mentoring sooner. I don't mean necessarily when I was younger. I mean when I was just figuring this out at whatever stage that is, and I could have really used the advice, the insights, the guidance, the hey, stop doing this, start doing that, don't do it that way, do it this way, here's what works, here's what doesn't. Invest in mentoring sooner. Here's why. Everyone should have a mentor. Mentoring brings two things: new ideas and accountability and real world advice. It's your GPS, it's your North Star, it's your compass, it's your map to help you accelerate your speed, shorten the path to results, avoid potholes, remove obstacles, guide your action, answer your questions. It is the straightest possible line to outcomes and results. And a good mentor will give you great ideas and make sure you act on them. A great mentor will also put together a powerful group of people all working towards similar goals, and that's a force multiplier. So in our mentoring program, there are people earning $3,000 a month, working right alongside people earning $30,000 a month and more, and everyone benefits from that interchange. So here's what you need to win. Number one, we talked about stop selling your speech, use the 7 hidden buying triggers, replace stupid marketing tricks with MMA, no forest, all trees, stop charging like an amateur, and the bonus tip, invest in mentoring. So right now, gang, you've got a choice. You can keep doing it the old way, old results, underbooked, underpaid, whatever that means for the level that you're playing at. You can keep being confused, and I put confused in quotes because often being confused is comfortable because that means you're not accountable for any kind of results. Spinning your wheels, still not earning what you deserve, not reaching the next level of income, can't figure out the secret club, no guidance, no accountability, no support. That can be a hard, lonely road. I know it because I traveled it for 6 years. First 6 years of my business, I did not have any of this figured out either. Or that can all end today. And Teresa and I can work with you to diagnose what's really going on, find the strategic gaps, refocus, reframe, reboot what you're doing, look at everything that needs fixing in your specific business with your messaging, your packaging, your positioning, your pricing, what you're doing with marketing and sales activity. Fill in exactly what's missing for you to consistently get clients that you love and finally earn what you deserve. And the place to go and do that so we can have a strategic chat about your business is doitmarketing.com/apply. doitmarketing.com/apply is where to book your one-on-one. So here's how we can help. Teresa and I have opened up our calendars, even though she's not available right now to join us today. She's got some time tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, and I've opened up my calendar as well to speak to you personally about how you can apply these ideas to your speaking-driven business starting today. The cost is absolutely free, and I'm going to put this here in the chat so that you guys have a little hot link if you want to do that. It's doitmarketing.com/apply. This is where to go. Not ho, go. It's not even Christmas time yet. So that should be a clickable link. Want to make sure that works for you over here in this other window. And like I said, there are some times that are going to be available to you there. But the only catch really is this isn't for everybody, because we don't want to waste your time, and we certainly don't want you wasting our time, with all due respect. So this is not for you if building a high-fee, speaking-driven business is not your number one priority for the next 3 to 6 months. If you don't know what you want to be when you grow up, so this is not for the dabblers, not for the amateurs, not for the hobbyists, not for people who want to keep making this an expensive hobby. We don't want you to make this an expensive hobby. We want you to make this a profitable business. It's not for you if you refuse to follow a proven process and take action on instructions. These calls are not for you if you refuse to change your low-fee mindset and your low-fee business model. So you need to be coachable. We need to be doing some progress on these calls. Otherwise, it's a total waste of time. It's like talking to a brick wall. If you're a fake expert or you're a shyster or a charlatan, or your programs or topics don't truly help people and companies improve, we're not going to help you. We're not going to work with you. If you're down to your last few dollars and you need to pay the rent, there's no get rich quick nonsense here. Teresa and I are huge believers in get rich smart. Get rich smart, not get rich quick. So this is for you when you go to doitmarketing.com/apply. This is for you if you are serious, decisive, and committed to making your business profitable over the next 60 days. Whether you've started speaking or you're a seasoned pro, and we work with folks on all sides of the spectrum. Whether you've got your niche or message nailed down or not, that's part of what we can talk about when we speak. When you go to doitmarketing.com/apply to book your one-on-one, whether you're in this full-time or planning your escape from a corporate gig, we've had massive success with highly seasoned, highly experienced full-time speakers, and we've had equal success with folks just launching their entrepreneurial journey and still separating from their day job paycheck. Whether you've gotten a few paid speaking gigs or a lot, as long as you're willing to follow a proven process to ramp up your revenue and you take mentorship and direction well, we'd love to talk to you, especially if you want to put $10,000 to $20,000 in your pocket over the next 60 to 90 days. And I showed you success story after success story after success story of exactly that happening with our clients who are serious, decisive, committed, coachable, and are willing to follow the game plan, so that you can also build a predictable flow of clients and cash, not just this week and this month and next month, but week after week, month after month, year after year in your speaking driven business. So doitmarketing.com/apply is where to go for that. Here's why we're doing this. On the call, we're going to work with you to craft a step-by-step game plan to hit your income goals that you just decided on today for the next 12 months. And attract the exact clients that you want to work with. And again, the cost here is free if you qualify. We know that some people might want our help to transform your business into what we're planning out here for you. If so, great, we can discuss that, see if it's a good fit in both directions. If not, that is absolutely fine too. Either way, it's going to be the most valuable 45 to 60 minutes that you will invest to grow your speaking-driven business and help you get real results. And that's waiting for you at doitmarketing.com/apply. So even though Teresa is not here, so she's here in spirit though. She's totally here in spirit. We're going to go to our Q&A right now. Any question that you have about today's teaching and training, today's five key shifts, 5 key secrets to becoming the high fee speaker that is waiting. It's waiting in your chair right now. That woman, that man that can make this happen is sitting in your chair right now. You just need to operationalize the strategies. You need to get those myths out of your head. And I'd love to answer your questions as people are coming in. I see some applications already at doitmarketing.com/apply. What's going to happen there, by the way, as you're getting your questions ready, you are going to go to our online scheduler. You are going to pick a time. After you pick a time, you're going to get a questionnaire. The questionnaire helps us prepare for your call so we can hit the ground running and really roll up our sleeves right away and make it the most relevant, valuable 45 to 60 minutes that you're going to spend on your speaking business. So if you're on the webinar here with me and you've opened up a new tab or a new window, just book the time. Booking the time locks you in. When the questionnaire pops up, you can do the questionnaire later. You can do the questionnaire later. Don't get caught up kind of multitasking and doing it kind of half-assed and not thinking about it. Book the time and then come back here for the Q&A right here, right now. We're keeping this open. The calendar's open here while we're talking on the Q&A. We did another one of these back on November 1st. Some of you guys might have been on that one. These slots fill up incredibly fast. They fill up incredibly fast. So we love talking to smart, committed, decisive, speaking driven entrepreneurs. If you don't meet that criteria, don't book the call because we're not going to be able to help you. And we cancel calls for people that don't qualify on those criteria. So that's no joke. That's not just some kind of marketing ploy that, oh, you have to qualify. You really do have to qualify because we want to make sure that we're helping the right people who are going from, let's say 35 miles an hour to 90. We're not so good getting people from 0 to 35. So if you've never stepped on a stage, you've never done speaking, you have no idea what speaking is all about, you're not ready for this. This is not for you. This is for the consultants and the coaches and the speakers and the experts that have dipped their toe, or maybe even done a whole lot more than that in the speaking world, and they want to do much better, much faster. Much better, much faster, just like all the success stories that I showed you today. So that's who should apply. That's who should not apply when you go to doitmarketing.com/apply. So questions. I'm here in the question box. I am ready for you. Let's see who's got the first question. So, is the info you ask for in the questionnaire kept confidential? Yes, it absolutely is. In fact, it's when you book it, you'll see that it is actually called the Confidential Speaker Strategy Questionnaire. That is very, very important to us, that people are going to be revealing, the good, the bad, the ugly, what's working, what's not working, kind of what you have dialed in, what you don't have dialed in. Obviously, we maintain a very high degree of confidence with all of our clients. All the testimonials, all the success stories, all the screenshots that you've seen are being used with permission. So whether you're a prospect, whether you're a client, everything is confidential and stays between you and Teresa, or stays between you and me. Great question. Great question. And we want to get to the truth. Our main job on these calls is to get to the truth of your speaking driven business, help you illuminate what's working, help you illuminate what's not working, kind of shine the light in the dark crevices, and give you a path and a plan so it works a lot better. Give you a path and a plan so it works a lot better. So let's talk about questions that you have about today's training, questions you have just about your own speaking business, your own niche, your own topic, your own fee level, your own industry. If you asked a question before, it probably scrolled by because we had hundreds of people kind of coming through and the question box was kind of going bananas there during our time together. So if I missed a question midstream, I apologize. Feel free to re-ask the question now that we're in pure Q&A, and I'll have a much better chance of seeing it, even though these things are kind of scrolling by pretty quick, even as we speak now. But other questions. Susan is asking, how much time will this take per week? So I'm not sure what this is, if it's our mentoring program, if it's doing the work that you need to do. I will tell you, because we're eliminating all the crazy busy work. We're eliminating that crazy infographic that we talked about, right? And we're helping you nail the 1 or 2 marketing main dishes that will become your main diet from now on. What I tell people is, if you do this business the right way, and even in our mentoring program, the people that are in our mentoring program, do this the right way, between the mentoring and the activity and the deciding and the implementing and the, creating some documents and creating some scripts and just doing some basic things that you'd need to do in any kind of professional services business, it's 8 to 10 hours per week of work. 8 to 10 hours per week. Now, you say, well, how is that even possible? That's like 90 minutes to 2 hours a day. Yes, it's 90 minutes to 2 hours a day. If you're doing more than that on sales and marketing and business development, I guarantee you're talking to the wrong people. I guarantee you're doing spray and pray. You're trying to boil the ocean, boil the universe. None of that is going to be serving you and helping you. It's going to be a problem. It is going to be a problem. So we don't want you doing that. We want you being super focused, super prepared, and super tight with your marketing, with your daily activities, with your prospecting, with your outreach. People say, oh, I have to do this like 10 hours a day every day. No, you don't. This is not 10 hours a day every day. If you know what you're doing, you're focused, you're targeted, you're niched, you've got some structure and accountability and process behind it, this is literally 90 minutes to 2 hours a day. Some of it's real time. Some of it can be done anytime. So some of you guys know I get up at 5 a.m. I'm an early bird, early to bed, early to rise. I get up at 5 a.m. I can probably do half my marketing activities between 5 and 6 if I wanted to. I can do the other half between 10 and 11. If you're making a phone call, yes, of course, phone calls have to be when people are in the office. But again, this is not about cold calling or spamming the universe or any of those mass marketing strategies. It's about low volume, high relevance, targeted outreach. Let me repeat that. Low volume, you don't need to talk to a ton of people. High relevance, meaning that you are connecting with the right people for the right reason at the right time. Trusted advisor outreach. You're not showing up like a peddler. You're not showing up like a speaker. You're showing up as a resource, as an expert who can help them. So very, very, very important distinction. Kieran says, do you feel your advice is universal? I'm based in the UK. Well, so it is universal. That's a great question. Short answer is yes. And we've had clients in the UK. We've had clients in Switzerland. We've had clients in Vietnam. We've had a ton of clients in Canada. The only thing, I'm going to say it's 90% universal. The 10% that you may have to add in the UK is that cultural component of the phrasing, the language, the approach, the templates, the bones, the skeleton of this. They absolutely work in Canada and the UK and Switzerland and Vietnam and Australia and everywhere. So, pardon me, the 10% overlay, and you would do this with any kind of training, Kieran, you would do this with training that you get from any source anywhere, is we're not big into hardcore scripts that it has to be these words in this way. We're big believers in scripting structures, and the tone and the words and the language that you get there with are completely up to you. And there are some cultural differences, obviously. There might even be some topic and some niche differences, obviously, that by knowing your market, both your target market and your national/cultural market, you would be able to make those distinctions very, very quickly. But marketing, right? Because think about the underlying skeleton. The underlying skeleton is offer value. Well, find a culture that doesn't benefit from offering value. Invite engagement, right? Invite them to a next step. Who doesn't like an invitation? Will the offer value, invite engagement, sales conversation sound a little bit different in different cultures? Well, maybe. But once you have the strategy, the scripting innovations take care of themselves. But great question. Great question. Carl is asking, can we give examples of tight and focused targeting goals? I'm not quite sure what that means. We did some examples in the webinar. Specific 2 or 3 industry targets. Well, so with 2 or 3 industry targets, it could be things like adjacent industries. So let's say that you're serving the banking industry. Who are the adjacent industries to banking? Maybe you realize that, oh my goodness, mortgage professionals have the same kind of problem. And if I'm doing banking and mortgage, those are related. Once I do mortgage, I might get referred to real estate. And now real estate, mortgage, and banking are all in the ecosystem that I'm putting together. So think about adjacent industries, think about related industries, and your ecosystem gets bigger. Your ecosystem gets bigger. All right. So what else? Other questions? Anything else I can answer? I see folks are booking calls. I think we still have some availability. for the remainder of this week. And again, I'm just refreshing here to make sure I'm not lying to you. If you want to book a call and you're serious and you're committed and you're decisive and you have something for us to talk about, we'd love to talk to you at doitmarketing.com/apply. So let me just go back into this other screen here. It looks like today's gone. Tomorrow afternoon, there's one slot and a little bit of availability tomorrow, and then we're pushing already into Monday, which is kind of crazy. And again, these slots always fill up quick. Teresa and I were kind of flooded after the last webinar that we did back on a couple weeks ago. So if this is your time, and by the way, November is a great time to start working on this. A lot of people say, well, I'm going to reboot my marketing in January. This is a case that you want to dig your well before you're thirsty. If you want to reboot your speaking business in January, you want to use November and December to go to the gym to get in shape so that when you hit the marketplace in January, you're getting checks in the door, you're booking gigs, you're making it happen, and you're not sitting there in January with an empty calendar, no strategies, no tactics, no game plan, and no support. So this would be a great time if you're looking at a major shift in 2018. Let's book a call. Let's talk about what that major shift in 2018 would look like for you. All right, gang. Well, that's all the questions I see coming in here. This was fantastic, as usual. Thanks for hopping on. If the tech gods are smiling, and hopefully they are, we'll have a recording of some kind to share with you, as long as that doesn't blow up, and more resources to come. And for the folks that we're talking to, can't wait to talk to you. Talk to you soon. doitmarketing.com/apply. Couple slots still left. Get in there. Get in there. See you soon. Bye, gang.